Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Mark Causey here from Black Cat Comics in Rockin' Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day and I'd like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic shop and pick up something fun to read. Big week, packed with exciting stuff. Gonna start with the DC guys this week because this is Damage #1. This is the first of their new line of new titles, the New Age of Heroes. This spins out of all that metal stuff that's been going on. DC is going to be kicking out a lot of new titles in the next few weeks. Some of it looks really cool, so keep an eye out for some of this new stuff. Good times. Batman, the biggest book in comics. This is your latest issue. This keeps going the Super Friends crossover with him and Wonder Woman. Really, really great stuff going on in this title. Again, probably the hottest book in comics. I know it doesn't need a lot of hype, but if you're one of the 3 people who's not reading this book, you should really go back all the way probably to number like 24 or 25 and catch up, because I say one of the best books in comics. Nightwing is your other Bat title for the week. Always saying he's one of my favorite Bat characters. And Harley Quinn. So I guess at this point it's more of a Suicide Squad title than a Bat title, but you get the gist there. Always a big week for this guy. Been talking up the Superman titles for quite some time. Superman Action or Super Sons. Can't say enough about how hot this title has become. Everybody's checking out Super Sons as it's crossing over with Teen Titans. Good fun there. Trinity. This one might be flying under your radar a little bit, but if you're, of course, a fan of one of these 3, or if you're a Justice League fan, you should want to be checking this book out. It's been really solid. And speaking of Justice League, much like Batman, this is one of the biggest books in comics. It was one of the best of the New 52 titles. It's one of the best of the Rebirth books, which says a lot because DC's kind of on fire right now, like with Green Lanterns, like Batman and Superman and everything else. They've been encouraging folks not following this stuff to check out Green Lanterns or Hal Jordan. Good stuff going on there. And Aquaman, with his lady Mira there on the cover, who's also about to get her own book very soon. Rounds out your DC Rebirth proper, but as always, there's always more DC to talk about. How about some intercompany crossovers, like Batman TMNT 2, with DC and IDW joining forces, because everybody loves the TMNT, and Bane is awesome. Or how about Wonder Woman Conan? I freaking love this book. It's all right there in the title. 2 great warriors teaming up, kicking butt, issue after issue. They're pretty much all sold out, so I hope you've already got the other 4. Otherwise, you're holding out for the trade paperback. Great stories, great art. Future Quest Presents. My man Birdman. Love Future Quest Presents. I love all the Hanna-Barbera stuff that DC's been rolling out. Can't say enough about this title. Grab the trade paperbacks for Future Quest. Catch up to Future Quest Presents. I mean, Space Ghost, the Herculoids, Johnny Quest, all your favorite Hanna-Barberas. Great stuff. DC Bombshells. And Injustice 2. Wrap up your DC books for the week. Always a great week for those guys. And speaking of good times, it's a great time to be an X-Men fan. Been talking up, this is X-Men Gold, been talking up this one, X-Men Blue, Astonishing X-Men. They'll be launching X-Men Red here very shortly. I know, everybody always says there's too many X titles, but each one of these has its own personality, its own team, good stuff. X-Men Gold is probably your book. X-Men Blue is kind of mine, but this one, number 20, has something really big in it. Don't want to say too much about it, don't let the internet spoil it for you, but make sure you grab X-Men Gold 20 this week. Weapon X. All new Wolverine, and Deadpool versus Old Man Logan is your Wolverinery for the week. That all new Wolverine is good stuff. Again, if you've been holding out on that one, grab the trade paperback and catch up, because it's probably a lot better than you think it is. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 299. I'm really happy that this title came back. I'm really happy it was part of the Marvel Legacy thing. 100 years ago when I was a kid, I was reading Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man in the early days. Just sort of a little lighter, a little more fun than the Amazing stuff. Good times. And Venom Inc. Omega rounds out your Spider stuff for the week. This one's been crossing over with Venom and Amazing Spider-Man, so I've been following that stuff. You don't want to miss this one shot. Avengers number 676 is my book of the week, and not just because it has a copy of Avengers #1 there on the cover. Everybody knows I'm a big Avengers fan. This book is now weekly following last week's number 675. All your other Avengers books are over because they all funneled into this one for this big event that's going to roll out for the next 12 weeks. Mark Waid is awesome. It's a great time to be an Avengers fan. Speaking of Mark Waid, this is the first issue of the next arc of Champions, another book that might be flying under your radar, but it's all of your newer characters, your young generation heroes, the Marvel Universe. This is their first attempt at membership expansion. You can read more about that one in our newsletter this week. Mighty Thor continues the Death of Mighty Thor storyline. It's one of the biggest books Marvel has. Been really, really good for a long time. Jason Aaron has really, really put his stamp on Thor over the last, 10 years. Great, great stuff. Doctor Strange continues the Loki as the Sorcerer Supreme thing that they've been rolling out. This book has been selling out every single issue because, of course, the idea of Loki as the Master of the Mystic Arts is super awesome. So you can pick up reprints to the previous issues or just jump into that one. Great stuff. America. Maybe it's just America these days. Generation X and Spirits of Vengeance round out your Marvel Universe stuff for the week. Unless you want to talk about some Star Wars. It's your latest issue of the main book. I know a lot of people are a little hot and cold to Star Wars these days, but boy, I'm just absolutely nuts about it. I love all the books that they've been rolling out, and yes, I'm a big fan of Episode 8 too, so take that, Star Wars haters. And it's a great week for all the other guys too. Jenny Finn is my Dark Horse book of the week because I'm always talking up anything Mike Mignola. You know that if you watch these videos. I never miss an opportunity to talk up anything Hellboy-esque. A lot of first issues from Image this week. This is Ice Cream Man #1. You can read more about this one in our newsletter. This one, Further Adventures of Nick Wilson, or Days of Hate, are your 3 first issue Gotta Have It Image books of the week. Always encouraging you guys to grab those first issue Image titles, because when the internet tells you about it, it's already too late. Kill or Be Killed is your other Image book for the week. They have, dozens and dozens of red hot titles these days, and this is definitely one of them. Ed Brubaker's awesome. Good week for Dynamite too. This is James Bond, first issue of a new series, or Red Sonja, another super awesome Dynamite book. Always talking up what a great job Dynamite does with their licensed property stuff, like James Bond, like Red Sonja, like, well, I guess this isn't really licensed property, but The Spirit is my other Dynamite book, because anything from Will Eisner is awesome. And what they do with their licensed stuff, with all their stuff, is keep it within the context of its original material. So The Spirit isn't, running around with a cell phone. He's like he was back in the day, and that's awesome. Kong on the Planet of the Apes is my Boom Studios book of the week, because much like Wonder Woman Conan, it's all right there in the title. Come on, man. King Kong on the Planet of the Apes? Grab that first issue, catch up to this 3rd issue. You will not be disappointed. Great story, great art. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is our other Boom Studios book of the week, because you guys can't get enough of the MMPR. Strangers in Paradise is back in comics. You may not know what Strangers in Paradise is. It's one of the all-time great indie titles. Something a little different, something very personal. Really encourage you guys to check out some Strangers in Paradise, even if you're one of those, apocalyptic superhero fans like me. Really can't pass up the great writing in Strangers in Paradise. Pretty small week for the all ages stuff, but Adventure Time Comics is super awesome. If you're a fan of the show, Adventure Time Comics is a little different from Adventure Time, because this is your favorite comic artists taking on Adventure Time in their own art style, not the style of the show. So that's kind of fun. And Simpsons Comics is my all ages book of the week, because I never miss a chance to talk up some Bongo and the great job they do with Simpsons and Futurama and all their good stuff. Just as awesome as the show. Lots and lots of great books, so make sure you check those shipping lists, get down to your shop, pick up something super awesome. That's all we got for you for this week. You can check us out at blackhatcomics.biz, check us out on Facebook, check out our YouTube channel, check out the podcast at soundcloud.com, or just get on down here to the good old brick and mortar in Rockin' Milpitas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.